Hi everyone, 7 o'clock Friday morning, part 2 of our 3-part series on boundaries. So today we're going to talk about boundaries that... I have animals everywhere this morning. I have Casper, who's just jumped up on my notes. Hugo here, who is waiting for a cuddle. Hugo is waiting for a cuddle? Are you waiting for a cuddle? And Toby over yonder, just sitting chilling. And Casper on the windowsill. So I have my own private audience this morning. Guys, today's topic about, the boundaries that other people have imposed on you. What's actually happened there is that, you've been given a set of guidelines on how you should live your life, and you've adopted those guidelines, okay? So when we talk about the boundaries that other people have put on us, we always have the choice to say, yeah, this is actually an acceptable boundary to me, or no, it's not, and I choose to do something different. So when we're talking about boundaries or rules, there's rules that the government puts out. There are social standards that are acceptable and that are not acceptable. There's the media that comes into it, a lot of the media does impose its boundaries, its belief systems on us. Unfortunately, it's also, primarily done when we're looking at things like advertising or biased information, a biased take on how information is released. That can be not great. Then we have, religion that we've been exposed to growing up, or religion that we've adopted, okay? But what I want to focus on today is the rules, the boundaries, and let's call it the expectations that have been put on us by people that we love, people that we know and we interact with on a daily basis. So we're talking about parents, siblings, extended family. Good morning, B. Spouses, husband, wife. And we're talking about friends in there as well. So we're talking about the people we interact with on a daily basis. And, when we're talking about the boundaries or the rules that have been imposed on us, okay, we have to acknowledge, hi Jackie, we have to acknowledge that at some point we've accepted that's an okay rule for us, and we will live by those standards, okay? So what I want to look at today is, again, looking at what those rules are and seeing whether they still serve a purpose in your life. If they adhere to, or if they run parallel to what you actually want to achieve out of life, the person you actually want to be in life. So, look, on that basis, I'm not saying, I don't want people to walk out there today and give a big finger to everyone who's, guided them through life by instilling a set of rules and regulations around their behaviour. But what I am saying is that we do have the option to look at those rules and assess whether or not they still apply to us, okay? So the rules that you had, hi Kelly Ray, the rules that you had when you were 6 or 7, hi Victoria, they're not the rules that apply to your life now, but are we still carrying the shadow of those rules that were applied to us when we were just toddlers, or when we were little kids growing up, or teenagers, or young adults? I have a very, 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 really, it's probably a bit too strong a belief. I have a really strong belief that you need to reach a point in your life where you stop blaming other people, or you stop blaming your history for what may or may not be going wrong in your life. And when I talk to people about that, my tagline is, you put your big girl pants on And you stand in front of the mirror and you say, I'm a big girl now, and I'm in charge of how I feel. I'm in charge of how I choose to live my life. So we're all putting our big people pants on today. When we're looking at these boundaries that are, I know, I love it too, Victoria. I do it all the time. I say, put your big girl pants on. Put your big girl pants on. When we are looking at the boundaries that have been imposed on us and we have then adopted in our life by the people who love us, who care about us, who don't want to see us hurt, we need to respond in kind, okay? So if you're wanting to step outside the lines of the boundaries that have been set for you by people who love you, you need to do it with love and you need to do it with respect, because that's how they were put there. Yeah? If you just go in charging and giving the finger and cussing and swearing at them, you know, why did you do this to me? Well, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. 9 times out of 10, these guidelines, these boundaries are there for love and protection, because the people who care about us don't want to see us hurt. So on that basis, I found this awesome, I guess, it's a set of guidelines, and it's from the University of Edinburgh. And it's on their student counselling, the student counselling part of their website. So I've borrowed this and I've adapted some of it for it. So when we're looking at boundaries that we have adopted, here's 2 things to remember. Sorry, 3. Respect, responsibility, and power. So respect. If we wish others to respect our boundaries, we need to respect theirs. If someone is raging at you, you can't tell them all the reasons that they can't be angry. A person should be able to protest the things that they don't like, right? Everyone has the right to do that. But at the same time, we can honour our own boundaries by indicating to them, your behaviour is not acceptable to me. If you continue this behaviour, I have to remove myself. So that goes to the whole, what we were talking about yesterday about stepping back. I'm stepping back from this because this is not acceptable. I'm stepping back from this so I can look at it objectively. Yeah? Responsibility. I love this one. Listen up, replay it if you're watching it, and write it down. We are responsible to each other, not for each other. Because this also speaks to accountability. I love it, I love it, I love it. Grab a pen and paper and write that one down. And power. We have power over some things. We don't have power over others. Right? I love this. The reminder. We only have power to change ourselves. We don't have the power to change anyone else. It's human nature to try and change and fix others so that they can be more comfortable. This is what these boundaries were when we were children. Okay? Human nature, a parent wants to nurture their child. You know? Your friends who care about you, they don't want to see you hurt. They'd like to see you in the most comfortable place that they can think for you. We can't change or fix anyone. That's their decision and their responsibility. So as we continue, just keep those things in mind. It's about respect, responsibility, and power. The power you hold for yourself, not, trying to, overthrow the world and run it yourself, or the world that you live in. So, we touched there on the boundaries that were put in place for us when we were children. And the first step in trying to break through those boundaries is the recognition that those boundaries were put there for love. And as I mentioned, to break through those successfully, respectfully, and stand in your own power in doing that, you have to come from a place of love, because that's how it was put there. Hi, Sandra. That's how it was put there. It was put there for love. It was put there to protect you. Okay? But if you're ready to move beyond the expectations that were put on you before this point in time, you are allowed to do that. You are allowed to do that. You put your big girl pants on and you look in the mirror and you say, I am responsible for my emotions. I am responsible for my life. And then you proceed with respect. Now again, I'm not going to give you the step-by-steps on how to do that, because what this is about is discovering a strategy on how to do it. Okay? A starting point for you to investigate how to move forward from it. Okay. I have Hugo again back here, and Casper is running amok in the hallway. In my experience, and I've had a lot of experience with a lot of emotional stuff in my life. I've been to hell and back several times, and my poor parents, you know, had spent a great deal of time feeling guilty and saying, what did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? And they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They raised myself and my brother and sister in the best way they knew how, with the information and the tools available to them at that time. Now, I turned 48 this year. My sister's a few years older and my brother's older again. We're talking about child raising standards from up to 50 years ago. Look at child raising standards 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and how much they've changed. So at some point you have to stop, pull on your big girl pants or your big boy pants and go, okay, they did the best that they could for me then. And now it's my responsibility as an adult to say, I'll take the reins on my life. Thank you very much for everything that you've done for me, but I'm going to take the reins on my life now. Yeah? Keeping in mind and thanking them for what they did. Hi, Deborah. Nice to see you. When we're looking at parents, the natural progression is to look at siblings, for those of you who have siblings. So here's the interesting thing about having siblings. Depending on where you fall in the, you know, firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn, seventhborn, tenthborn, who knows? My grandmother on my dad's side had 10 children. Jesus! I myself have none. So, you know, there's the extremes for you. So depending on where you kind of fall in the rank of siblings, or in the line of siblings, you may have adopted the role of a leader in the family. Or you may have adopted the role of a follower in the family. Or maybe you just mosey on along and it's like everyone just does what they want, and that's cool too. But here's the thing, is that the best way to move forward with that is to recognize that you're actually peers. You are peers. You get to a certain point in life and you're no longer the big brother or the big sister or the little brother or the little sister. You become peers. We're all adults responsible for our own lives. And once you look at it like that, whoa, what a flip it is. All of a sudden, it's not about, oh, this is someone who knows absolutely everything in the world and I have to listen to what they say. If you've been a follower. And if you've been a leader if you've been a guide to your other siblings, the turning point is actually, wow, check out this person who has developed into their own person. And for those who have been guides and leaders to their siblings, pat yourselves on the back. You've been part of shaping who that person is today. And if you look at them and you have a sense of pride in what they're achieving, you've had a part. You've played a big role in that. So pat yourselves on the back for that, because it's awesome. And it's the same with parents. If you're a parent and you look at your child and you go, wow, I am so proud. I'm so proud of what they're achieving in life. I'm so proud of the fact that they're at this point in their life and they're ready to move forward. Pat yourself on the back. It's a huge achievement. So we then start talking about peers, you know. Once you start to look at someone as a peer, you start recognizing, wow, this person has a completely different skill set to what I've got. And that's awesome. I've got something that I can learn from this person. Learning experience. Oh, who doesn't want a learning experience? Oh. See, as I said that, I just went, I've had way too many learning experiences in my life. And I'm choosing now that my learning experiences will all be positive rather than negative, or rather than impacting me in a negative way. So let's just get rid of that, shall we? Yes, that's gone. Good. Once we start talking about peers, we then start talking about friends and spouses. With spouses, there can be a fine line, and it can be quite an intricate little dance at times. Each person in a relationship has strengths and weaknesses. The way I see it, when it works beautifully, when it turns into a magnificent dance where every step is smooth, and okay, let's be honest, let's be real, they're stumbling along the way, you know, one's doing a foxtrot, and the other one's doing a waltz. But again, if we look at this as our spouses actually being our peers, then an exchange starts to occur where the exchange of information, the exchange of strengths and weaknesses, they play together beautifully. It does start becoming a beautiful waltz where everything runs rather smoothly and everything just glides, because they start to recognize and see when you're experiencing a moment where you don't find the strength to get through. They recognize that and they come through with the strengths that they have to support you. And vice versa. If you see that your spouse is struggling with something, then you come forward with the strength that you have to offer. This is all about the offering. This is not about forcing someone to change or forcing someone to look at things your way. It's about offering the support so they can sort it out in the best way for them. Because when that happens, right, they are taking into account all aspects of the decision that they have to make. Hi, Thelma. Welcome to the feed. So in all aspects of stepping beyond the boundaries that have been set for us, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, pardon me, we're looking at if someone's experiencing difficulty, we're going to offer support so that they can come to the conclusion that is best for them. We can offer information. We can offer whatever it happens to be. Information, guidance, pointing them to a website. Go and have a read of this. Or, sorry, I have incense burning up there, and time to open the window a little bit. And I'm also just recovering from a mild head cold. And I should have had a glass of water to start with. Preparation. It's about communication. And that will be the topic for another video. Guys, I'm going to have to wind this up soon because I need water. No, you know what? I'll take the phone with me. So, how does all of this fit in with dare? Well, water. I should have had water. There we go. How's that for reality TV? Guys, I think I'm going to have to end this off. But when we're looking... Wow. When we are looking at... how we incorporate this into dare. Guys, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Well then, I will have to end this now because this tickle has just gone beyond a joke. When we look at incorporating, it's just getting too funny and I can't even talk. Oh my God. Right then. Have we got it together? I don't think we've got it together. Guys, I'm going to post some stuff in the comments below, which was going to be the next part of this feed. So, once it's up and running, and once the post has been put on the page, go and have a look at the comments, because I can't talk anymore. Because it's just getting silly now. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Guys, when we're incorporating what I've talked about this morning into dare, into the system that helps. Thank you, Kelly Ray. When we're talking about how to incorporate all of this into dare, what we're looking at is adding a few different steps into the process. A few different things that need to be incorporated along the way. And that's what I'd like you to go back and read once you finish watching this video. Because, you know what? I'm going to choose one of the ones that I actually think is really, really, really important in the ones that I found. Proactivity. We take action to solve problems based on our values, wants, and needs. Proactive people keep their freedom and they disagree and confront issues, but are able to do so without getting caught up in an emotional storm or a coughing fit. Being proactive in this sense means taking action based on deliberate, thought-out values versus emotional reaction. So that part I thought was really, really powerful. It's about being proactive and it's about being respectful while you do it. It's about considering options and outcomes. Things seem to have gotten under control again. I will read this last part to you as well because I subscribe to email from Abraham Hicks. For those of you who know it, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't heard of it, then Google it. You'll find a whole lot of information about it. Basically, it's where the law of attraction began with Abraham Hicks. Okay, so this is an email that came through from them a couple of days ago. And again, I've adapted it a little bit for this morning's video. Other people's opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. You did not intend to use the opinion of others to measure them against your beliefs, desires, or actions in order to determine the appropriateness of them. Instead, it is the relationship between the opinion or the knowledge of the source within you that will offer you perfect guidance in the form of emotions. It's your own personal emotional guidance system. You did not intend to replace your emotional guidance system with the opinion of others, even though they were in harmony with their own emotional system when they were guiding you. It's much more important for you to recognize the existence of your own guidance system and to utilize it rather than to be deemed correct or incorrect on the basis of another. So basically what that says to me, guys, is that yes, it's fine to be guided in life, but when it comes down to it, you do put your big girl pants on and you go, does that align with my values? Does that align with how I choose to live my life? Does that serve my purpose in this life? Oh, I can't believe this is all under control now. I feel so much better. Thank you for listening this morning, guys. Thank you to everyone who was able to join in on the call. Apologies for the massive coughing fit and the running to the kitchen. I'm going to go and have a little bit more water now, maybe a little bit of a Bex and a lie down. That'll make sense to the Aussies that are watching this. Have a great day, guys. Dare to push your boundaries. Dare to experiment on what your boundaries might be. And use the DARE system to work through those boundaries. And do it with respect, responsibility, and personal power. Have a wonderful day. Bye.